What's up, YouTube? Knight's Edge here again. Got a pretty cool little review for you of a pretty neat little knife. This is definitely an interesting one to me. Courtesy of Loot 10 Techs. Big shout out to him. Thanks for designing and making such a cool knife like this. The knife designs by him. He does live streams also on Saturdays, a fellow YouTuber, and designs some pretty cool knives. So definitely go check him out. He'll be linked down in the description. Also, the anno job on this was done by Mr. Eddie Knives, so big shout out to Mr. Eddie. He'll be linked down in the description also if you want to check him out. So yeah, definitely appreciate you guys. Also, if you like the content, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe to the channel, that greatly help me out. Hit the subscribe button down below. Really appreciate that too. Without further ado, this is the new breed EDC Clydesdale. Pretty cool looking knife, man. I really like this one. When they first come out, I didn't get my hands on it. It's got that satin on it, which is also, as it turns out, a fingerprint magnet. Wipe my fingerprints off of there. But yeah, whenever they first came out, I wasn't able to get my hands on them before they sold out. Which, you know, took a while, but yeah, courtesy of Loot 10 Techs, I was able to get this one. He said, yeah, I found one, it's got a little issue with it, you know, if you still want it, let me know. Really appreciate that, man. This is kind of like, you know, to me, like a Devo and Metal Complex's knife that he's got coming out, Tri-State's knife, Knives knife that he's got coming out, a bunch of other knife designers on YouTube that are coming out with their own little designs, and that's, you know, one that I am glad to have in the collection. So without me rambling too much more, I'll go ahead and get the specs out of the way. Alright, so overall length, you got 7 5/8 of an inch. If you go from the tip of that Warncliffe blade there to the end of the handle, right at 7 5/8. You got 3.5 inches if you go all the way back to where the blade meets up on that finger choil. And sharpened edge length, you're sitting right at 3 1/4 on sharpened edge length on it. So pretty good measurements there. Definitely what I would consider right at a full-size knife size. 117 thousandths is what I got on the thickest part of the spine. Go down to behind the edge. Let's see. Looking right at 25 thousandths. 23 thousandths. 22.5 thousandths. So definitely swedges down pretty good with that hollow grind on it. Really nice. Oh, let me do the handle thickness. Titanium handles on this one, by the way. 45 or 450 thousandths. So not too thick, not too thin on the handle thickness. Let's go ahead and do some size comparisons, right? Get a good idea of how big this thing is. You got the Spyderco Paramilitary 2 up next to it, and also the Spyderco Para 3. So definitely see it's more along the lines of the size of the Para 2. Well, it's kind of right in between, really, right? Sharpened blade length. That's a little more sharpened blade length than the Para 2. Let's go ahead and do the Ontario Knives Rat Model 1 and the Ontario Knives Rat Model 2. So kind of in between the two. Sharpened edge length again. Rat 1's probably got a little more sharpened edge length. The way it looks right there anyway. Let's go ahead and do the Cold Steel Knives 8010. So 8010 is definitely a little larger. Definitely more bulky. And also the 8020.5. That's the one with the shark's foot blade, so you definitely got more cutting edge with the Clydesdale than that, for sure. Alright, got all the size comparisons out the way. Let's go ahead and, where's my scale at? Go ahead and do a weight on this bad boy here. Pretty cool, well, let me go ahead and weigh it before I get too far off into the weeds there. 4.7 ounces, 4.7 ounces. So definitely a little chunky, a little over the ounce and inch ratio for sure. But I didn't really have too much of an issue with that. Get the old blue jeans out. That's about where you're sitting. Not a totally deep carry clip at all, but it is a really nice milled titanium pocket clip. So that's pretty much what you're looking at. You will definitely have some exposed, you know. I mean, people know you got a knife or something in your pocket. But not too much of an issue, I don't think, me personally. All right, so got all the specs out of the way. Let's go ahead and do the hardware check here. This is a KnivesShipFree driver, really cool little driver. I got that one off of BladeHQ. I remember right. If I could get the thing out of there. It's a T6. I don't think it's got T6, but let me make sure. It's a T8. No, well, maybe that's bigger than T8. Might be a T10. Let's see what we got here. That's a T15. It's a T10. Yeah, T10. No, maybe it's just a T8. Is that a T8? That's a T8. All right, yeah. I'm tripping. All right, that's a T8 right there. So T8 on the pocket clip, T8 on the body screws, T8 on the pocket clip. Again, it is reversible, so you just take that little tab out, mount it right there. They do include a little filler tab and a screw for this side. That's really cool. Captive pivot, really awesome. And T8. So you need one driver to take this thing apart. That's cool. That's a good deal, man. That's awesome. Good job on that, Loot 10, for sure. Along with a bunch of other stuff. Lock bar access is perfectly fine. No issues there. It does a really cool reverberation. Sometimes if you listen, it's got some cool acoustics. Alright, the action on it's really good, so whenever you push the lock bar in, that's the detent right there, and it falls shut and closes fine. No issues with lack of detent either. Mr. Eddie did tune this one up a little bit whenever he took it apart for the anno, so appreciate that. Front flipper, I really enjoy front flipping this knife. It kind of made my I think I had it on a front flipper list, as a matter of fact. Really enjoyable, actually. I'm not the biggest fan of front flippers, I say it all the time, but no issues whatsoever with the front flipper on this knife. It is actually fun opening and closing it with the front flipper. My preferred method, I guess you could probably tell, is this hole right here, the blanked out fuller. The fuller hole works excellent. You can do a lot of draw cuts with this blade shape, this straight line blade shape. It's really good for cutting on flat surfaces like that. Cutting rope with it, you know. Someone commented in the live stream that the only part of this edge that would get any action, that would wear out quick, would be the tip. Yeah, I mean, if you do certain cuts with it, but you know, if you know how to use your knife and you use it for other things other than, you know, one constant thing, you can get a lot of use out of this part of it too, you know, and that is very useful. It is a slicing machine. I mean, this thing, you get out a piece of paper. Oh, slices pretty well, you know, no issues whatsoever. Really nice grind on it, helps with that. I love the way it feels in hand. I got a full 4-finger grip on it, choked back, choked up, no issues either. You know, it's got that kind of almost finger tool mixed with that flat right there. It's a perfect spot to put your finger when you're choked up, and your thumb kind of falls out naturally right there, which is pretty awesome. If you're doing draw cuts, you can put your finger here and that little indentation there. That's what that's for, I think. You know, draw cutting back, pull cuts, whatever you want to call it. You can also, one good thing about this one as you can tell, is you can mod it, man. You can stone wash this if you don't like the satin, and it comes in plain. You can obviously do what Mr. Eddie did here, and I would call that you know, as a lightning anno, but you know, almost like a deep space kind of looking anno. You know, really cool looking anno on that for sure. He annoed the liners. The only billboard and the only markings anywhere on, I wouldn't even call it, it's not billboarding, is 14C28N, the blade steel under there. And if you look inside, let me get the flashlight here. If you look inside of it, see if I can see the NB inside there, right there, NB EDC. That would be New Breed EDC. That's the logo inside of there. That's pretty cool. That's milled out on that side. Pretty awesome. You know, back spacer, nice and flush, and it's a back spacer. You know, I mean, that everything about this knife is awesome. You know, the steel, they run for around 125 is what he was selling them at, I believe. The steel on it is 14C28N, which is a perfectly fine steel, especially for what you're getting with everything else involved in this. You know, the titanium handles, the back spacer, milled titanium pocket clip. This is definitely going on my most recommended knives playlist. This is an awesome knife all the way around. I really like it, and I highly recommend it, man. It is an awesome knife. I really struggled to find anything at all on this knife as an issue, you know. But yeah, this is a really great knife, and thank you Loot 10 Techs for designing such a cool knife, sending that to me. Thanks to Mr. Eddie again for anno and the handle for me. That was really cool of you. And yeah, it's just a great community all the way around, man. I appreciate everyone. Thank you guys for watching. Hit the like button if you like the content. Subscribe to the channel if you want to hear me ramble more and more about knives. Consider joining the Patreons, $2 a day if you want to support the channel more. And big shout out and thanks to everyone, man. I appreciate everything, and until next time, y'all stay sharp.